Well, ladies and gentlemen, would you please all be seated? Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful entrance. Let's give them both a big round of applause. Now, do you know what? I think as we're going to have tears, there's just something I must do. I didn't get the tissues out. So let's have a quick look. I have got lots here. Very important, this. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome today to the marina for this very special occasion, the wedding of Barzan and Kayl. And a very special welcome to you both today. And to introduce ourselves, my name's Carol. It's going to be my pleasure to guide you through your ceremony as you make your vows together. Our registrar is Pauline. She's entering the information into the marriage register, completing the certificate, and we'll present that to you both at the end of the ceremony. And of course, you're all here today, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, to support them both as they make that very special commitment to each other. And today's ceremony gives you all the opportunity to be together, to share in their happiness as they exchange the vows of marriage, which will unite them as husband and wife. And these vows are both a formal and a public pledge of your love, and they're also a promise of the lifelong commitment that you're making to each other today. Well, before we commence any ceremony, there's always something rather important I have to do. I do have to check I am marrying the right people to each other. And for this reason, I'd just like you both to give me your full names. So just you first, the name you use now,
Barzan Omar.
That's lovely. And Kayl?
Kayl Louise McCormick.
That's great. McCormick, is it?
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this building in which we are now met today has been duly sanctioned according to law for the celebration of marriage. As you have all just heard, you are here today to witness the joining in matrimony of Barzan Omar and Kayl Louise McCormick. And if any person present knows of any lawful impediment to this marriage, then they must declare it now. Well, to start our ceremony today, Kayl and Barzan have asked me if I'd do the first reading for them, and it's called The Art of Marriage. Happiness in marriage is not something that just happens. A good marriage is created. In marriage, the little things are the big things. It's never being too old to hold hands. It's remembering to say, I love you, at least once a day. It's never going to sleep angry. It is at no time taking the other for granted. The courtship shouldn't end with the honeymoon. It should continue through all the years. It's having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It's standing together and facing the world. It's forming a circle of love that gathers in the whole family. It's doing things for each other, not in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy. It's speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It's not looking for perfection in each other. It's cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humour. It's having the capacity to forgive and forget. It's giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow. It's a common search for the good and the beautiful. It's establishing a relationship in which the independence is equal, dependence is mutual, and obligation is reciprocal. It's not only marrying the right partner, it's actually being the right partner, as I'm sure you both are. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what does marriage mean in today's world? Because we live in a world where the old-fashioned social pressures to conform have all but gone. So why get married at all? Perhaps when two people decide that this is something they actually want to do, for themselves, for their families, and for its own sake. but the meaning of marriage has shifted to the same extent as times have moved on. Unridden of any outside pressures, the vows, the intentions that you make to each other today are totally pure and unadulterated. And you really cannot have a better guarantee than this. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to commence the formal marriage ceremony, where you can, would you please all stand? If you Well, marriage requires closeness and distance. Closeness of a couple growing together, enough distance to allow each partner to be an individual. In marriage, a good partner will be loving and caring, but above all else, a best friend. And it's in this spirit that you're both here today, because in each other you've found happiness, fulfillment, and love. And now wish to live with the commitment and the understanding that marriage represents. Kayl and Barzan, before you are joined in matrimony, I have to remind you of the solemn and binding character of the vows you're about to make. Marriage, according to the law of this country, is the union of one man with one woman, voluntarily entered into for life to the exclusion of all others. But of course, much more than that, marriage is intended to provide love and comfort, which each should offer in times of joy or sorrow. It's a deep and lasting commitment and should never be entered into lightly. Well, I'm now going to ask you both to make the first of the two legal declarations. This is where you're going to state that you are free to marry each other. And of course, traditionally, by law, Barzan, we always start with the bridegroom.
Okay.
But it is just a few words to say in turn after me. Are you both ready?
Yes. Good.
So Barzan, if you'd like to say these words. I declare that I know of no legal reason why I, Barzan Omar, may not be joined in marriage to Kayl Louise McCormick. That's great. And Kayl, you're going to say the same words now, saying you're free to marry Barzan. I declare that I know of no legal reason why I, Kayl Louise McCormick, may not be joined in marriage to Barzan Omar. That's great. Well, having declared you legally free to marry each other, the solemn moment has now arrived for you both to contract your marriage before all your family and friends. And for this part of the ceremony, I'm going to ask you just to turn a little to each other. Because this is important in that when you say these words, these are the most important words. It's when you're going to take each other to be husband and wife. And so you're going to say them to each other. And when two people pledge to love and care for each other in marriage, they create a spirit unique to themselves. And this binds them closer than any written or spoken words, because marriage is a promise, a potential, made in the hearts of two people who love, which takes a lifetime to fulfill. Now, as I said, you're going to say these important words to each other. So, Barzan, this is where you take Kayl as your wife. So if you would say these words to her.
Okay.
I, Barzan Omar, take you, Kayl Louise McCormick, to be my wedded wife. Kayl, same words now. I, Kayl Louise McCormick, take you, Barzan Omar, to be my wedded husband. And I think you ought to seal that commitment with a kiss. And we'll give them a round of applause. Come on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, would you please all be seated while we continue the ceremony? Your mum's having a good cry now as well. And you two didn't, you were wonderful, weren't you?
Yeah, will in a minute.
No, you won't now. So, what is love? Well, sooner or later we begin to understand that love is much more than just verses on Valentine's and romance in the movies. We begin to know it's here and now, real and true. The most important thing in our lives. For love is the creator of our favourite memories and the foundation of our fondest dreams. A promise that's always kept. A fortune that can never be spent. But I bet Kayl will have a very good try. Has she already?
Yeah.
And this radiance that never fades, this mysterious and magical joy is the greatest treasure of all, one known only to those who love. And you know, a special part of our wedding today is the giving and receiving of these lovely wedding rings. And as you all know, it's the traditional way of sealing the vows that Kayl and Barzan just made to each other. Well, I would like to ask our best man to come up. Thank you, Harry. Just to take the cushion. Now, rings are objects of adornment. I'm sure in your life you may have many of these. You'll have amongst them always the ones that are most precious to you. So when you're ready, we'd like to take Kayla's ring. Sit. I'm just going to put some first thing with that. And hold the ring in place. And these are the words that you've chosen to say, just to each other. I promise to give you my love and friendship.
I promise to give you my love and friendship.
To be there for you when you need me most.
To be there for you when you need me most.
To laugh with you and